Throughout history, over the course of time, great men have emerged who shaped history and engraved their names in letters of light. Their deeds remain recorded in history, and humanity continues to remember them until the end of time. One of the most famous of these figures is King Menes, the founder of the first Pharaonic dynasty and the primary architect of the great Pharaonic civilization in Egypt. He successfully unified the Kingdom of the North and the Kingdom of the South in 3200 BCE. Because of this achievement, he earned many titles, such as King of the Two Lands, Bearer of the Two Crowns, Falcon of the South, and Serpent of the North. Thus, he became the first founder of a ruling dynasty in Pharaonic Egypt, and indeed, in the history of the world. He wore the double crown, symbolizing the unity of the two kingdoms. In some ancient Egyptian writings, he was referred to as Mene, before the Egyptians altered his name to Menes. Interestingly, in the ancient Egyptian language, Mene means to establish or to build, as if the Egyptians wished to honor his achievements through his name. In Coptic Egyptian, the name means firm or steadfast. The character of King Menes has been a subject of great debate among Egyptologists. Some attribute his identity to Pharaoh Hor-Aha, while others believe he was Pharaoh Narmer. King Menes was highly intelligent. After assuming power, he carefully chose a strategic location between the North and South kingdoms from which he could govern Egypt effectively. He built a great fortress surrounded by a white wall and named it Men-Nefer, which means the beautiful harbor. The White Wall, the White Wall. And the miraculous thing is that part of this wall still remains to this day. The fortress was the capital of Egypt during the Old Kingdom, and later the Greeks called it Memphis, or the Way of the Sphinxes. When the Arabs conquered Egypt, they named it Menf. King Menes gathered with the leaders of his army, and after securing all the necessary forces by enlisting the finest young warriors from the south who had completed their training, all that remained was a signal from the king. At his command, they would overthrow the tyrant ruler in the north, lift the burden of oppression and humiliation, and place the unified crown upon Menes' head. After several months, the army marched forward, well organized, carrying banners and beating war drums. Upon leaving the city, Menes commanded them to split into two groups. One traveled by the Nile in specially prepared boats, while the other advanced along the riverbank within sight of the first. The northern army, fully assembled, prepared to confront Menes, who stood at the forefront of his troops, wielding his large battle axe in his right hand and carrying his heavy shield in his left. His forces struck fear into the hearts of the northern army. Menes fought his way through the enemy ranks until he reached their leader. With a mighty strike, he disarmed him, forcing him to kneel and beg for mercy. But Menes delivered a final blow, ending his life. With their leader defeated, the northern army collapsed, and victory was secured. King Menes' dream had come true. Egypt became a single powerful state with one army and one ruler. The two lands were united after a long period of division, and the people were brought together after being apart for so long. This victory led to a remarkable development in Egyptian civilization and the emergence of centralized governance. The unification of Egypt played a crucial role in the flourishing of the pharaonic state in all aspects of life. Wanting to ease the bitterness of defeat for the northern people, Menes decreed that each region would maintain its own traditions and customs. He established separate ministries and administrations for the north and south, while personally overseeing governance from his palace. Menes made it a habit to visit the provinces himself and listen directly to the people's demands. During one of his travels, he arrived at the province of Sais, where he was hosted by its just ruler, who welcomed him generously. Among the ruler's daughters was a young woman named Neith-Hotep. known for her great beauty and noble character. Menes admired her and wished to marry her, seeing this as an opportunity to reconcile with the people of the north after their defeat by making one of their princesses the queen. He proposed marriage, and the ruler of Sais accepted. After the wedding, before leaving the north, Menes decided to establish a new kingdom that would serve as a strategic stronghold between the two lands. This stronghold would serve as a military base for his army whenever he needed to travel to the northern provinces. He summoned his top engineers to consult on selecting a suitable location, and after thorough study, they chose the site of the city of Memphis, known today as Mitrahina. The construction of this city required diverting the rushing waters of the Nile into a different course by building a dam across the river. It later became the first capital of the unified government. Once King Menes was assured of the completion of the new city and stability had been restored in the country, he returned with his wife to his old capital. He entered the city of Sais in a grand triumphal procession, where the entire population came out to welcome their beloved son, who had achieved the unification of the land. Menes ruled the country for 62 years, during which he fought its enemies and worked tirelessly to preserve Egypt's unity. The people's love for their king was so great that they willingly changed their tradition of deposing a ruler after 30 years of reign, believing that only the young should govern. However, out of loyalty to their beloved king, they unanimously agreed to extend his rule. During one of his journeys, Menes took the opportunity to indulge in his favorite pastime, hunting birds and wild animals in the delta forests near Memphis. Accompanied by a few of his guards, he was drawn deeper into the wilderness by the abundance of game. Eventually, he wandered alone and encountered a ferocious hippopotamus. Despite his old age, Menes was a courageous and fearless warrior. He approached the beast, spear in hand, aiming to kill it with a single strike. However, he missed his target. The enraged animal attacked him with brutal force and killed him. His guards rushed to the scene, but it was too late. They managed to slay the hippopotamus, then carried the king's body back to his palace in Memphis. There, the priests embalmed and shrouded his body, a process that lasted 70 days. Afterward, they placed him in a stone sarcophagus, which was then transported in a solemn ceremony to a ship waiting in the harbor. The vessel immediately set sail for the king's southern capital. Upon arrival, the priests carried Menes's body to the temple, where the grieving people gathered to bid their final farewell to their beloved king and great hero. Don't forget to support us, my friend. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video.